Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm gonna share with you 5 different recipes which you can serve for lunch or dinner. So if you're a working woman, you need to pack lunch for yourself or you need to give it to your husband. With a little bit of pre-preparation, your morning can be rush-free. So let's get started. So for Monday's lunch, I will be making Aloo Gobi Subji, and for that I'm taking about 4 medium size of tomato. Now this gravy you can make it night before, but to show you everything, I'm just preparing everything in the morning. Also I have 1 medium size onion. I'll be taking 1 inch of ginger. Next I will have 4 or 5 green chilies. Now green chilies, it's up to you. If you like spicy, you can add more. If you don't like it, you don't have to add that. And I do have about 5 cloves of garlic. Now I'm gonna go ahead and chop this. The thing about this gravy is we don't want the fine paste out of it. We just want to roughly chop. So once it's done, this is how it's gonna look like. Now on this other side, on this pan, I have about 1 tablespoon of oil. Into that, I'm gonna add first asafoetida, about half a teaspoon cumin seeds. And I'm just gonna let this saute just for a second, and then I will go ahead and add all this gravy into this. And the thing is, it's take about 10-15 minutes to cook this gravy because we need to make sure that there is no any water left from tomato. So that's why in the morning, if you have too many things going on, you can always prepare this gravy night before. So in the morning, it's gonna be very easy. Next, I will add about half a tablespoon of turmeric powder, 1 tablespoon red chili powder, and about half a tablespoon cumin coriander powder. Also, I will be adding half a tablespoon amchur powder. Now, amchur powder is basically gonna give that tangy flavor to it, and it's gonna taste really good. But if your tomato is sour, then I would say skip this. Also, I will add just a pinch of garam masala. Also, I will be adding kasturi methi, just a half a tablespoon, not more than this. And here on this other side, I actually parboil my potato as well as the cauliflower. That means they are like 70% done. And I steam them actually. So that way my cooking time will be very less. So you can do this step also night before. You can steam them, and before you add to the gravy, make sure they cool down completely. And now at this point, all I need to do is just mix them properly, and that's it. My sabji will be ready, and we'll be also adding the green peas into this. Now accidentally I picked this one that has like a small onions also in it. Basically we just want the green peas into this. So that's it. I'm just gonna go ahead and mix all the stuff, let it mix all the spices into the cauliflower as well as potato, and the sabji is all done. So I'm serving with the roti as well as the cucumber and the lychee. For Tuesday's lunch, I will be making Guwar Dhokli Subji. Now this is typical Gujarati Subji. It's so easy to make. It's super healthy for you. So first of all, we're gonna go ahead and make the dhokli atta. For that, I took 1 cup of regular wheat flour. Into that, I'm gonna add half a teaspoon asafoetida, half a tablespoon turmeric powder, 1 tablespoon red chili powder, half a tablespoon coriander cumin powder, salt to taste, and also I'm gonna add about half a tablespoon of oil. You can add any of the oil. I'm just using this olive oil, so that's what I'm gonna add into this. And we're gonna go ahead and make the dough out of this. Now this dough consistency needs to be just like the chapati dough. It needs to be not too soft and not too hard either. So particular this step, you can do it night before. So in the morning, again, it's gonna be easy for you. So this is how it's gonna look like. As you can see, it's not too soft, it's not too hard either. And once I knead it for a few minutes, I'm gonna go ahead and make this small ball out of it. And all you need to do is take it between your palm and just press them. So this is how it's gonna look like. So it needs to be not too thick, not too thin. So once you make it, it will be cooked all from all sides basically. In particular, this sabji I make it in cooker. So in pressure cooker, I take about 1 tablespoon of oil. Most of the time people do add the carom seed, that is the ajwain, in this sabji. I'm not adding it, but if you like it, you can go ahead and add that. So here I'm adding about half a tablespoon mustard seed as well as half a teaspoon asafoetida. I do have about 4 small cloves of garlic, so that's what I add. I'm gonna let this saute just for a few seconds here. And here I do have this frozen guar, that is the cluster beans, but if you have the fresh one, of course you can use that one. So here I wash them in the hot water properly, and I'm gonna go ahead and add that into this. So this is about 2 cups of guar. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and add the dokli in there. And now we're gonna go ahead and add all the dry spices. For that I took about half a tablespoon turmeric powder, 1 tablespoon red chili powder, half a tablespoon coriander cumin powder. I'm gonna add salt to taste. We're gonna mix all this stuff, and I'm gonna add about 1 to 2 cups of water into this. And then we're gonna just go ahead and do pressure cook this for about 2 whistles. And that's it, sabji will be ready. So this is it, friends. My lunch is all done. The sabji is done. I'm serving with the roti as well as banana, and I do have this cheese, and that is the cottage cheese with the strawberry and chia seeds in there. Super healthy. So Tuesday's lunch all done. So for Wednesday's lunch, I'm making Chana Dal Spinach Dokla, and for that I do have 1 cup of Chana Dal, which I soak it overnight in water. But if you don't have that much time, you can just soak it for 4 hours and that's fine. Next, I will be adding 5 small green chilies. Now again, it's up to you. If you like spicy, you can add that. If you don't, you can just add 1 and that's fine. Also, we need ginger, about 1 inch of ginger, and I also have the water from this dal which I soak it, because we're gonna need that water to blend this dal, but we don't want to add too much water at once. Maybe a 1 tablespoon at a time, it's good. And the good thing about this dokla is you don't need to wait for any fermentation or anything. You can just blend the dal and make this dokla right away. And it's good for kids. It's super healthy because the dal is there, so of course protein, and the spinach is there. So this dokla is good for snacks or lunch or breakfast even too. So this is the consistency we wanted. It's not too runny, it's not too thick. And here I have about half a cup of spinach. Next I will add salt to taste. Also I'm gonna add just the pinch of sugar. Now sugar is optional. If you want it, you can add. If not, that's fine. The reason I add just so it can enhance all the flavor. And when you are ready to make it, then only you want to add the eno. So here I'm taking about half a tablespoon of eno. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix all this first. After mixing it, here I'm adding about half a tablespoon of turmeric powder. Mix everything, and on this other side I do have the water. It's steaming, and I'm gonna go ahead and add this mixture into this plate, and we're gonna cover this, steam it for about 15 to 20 minutes. So the reason actually he's taking only dokla today is because he has a meeting at work and they will be serving the lunch today. So that's the reason he doesn't want to carry too much from home. And after 15-20 minutes, our dokla is done. As you can see, it's puffed up. It looks so yummy. And now we're gonna go ahead and make the tempering for that. So for that, I have about 1 tablespoon of oil. Into that, I'm gonna add half a teaspoon of mustard seed, half a teaspoon cumin seeds, as well as half a teaspoon asafoetida. Now at this point I'm not adding any green chilies or the coriander leaves or anything. The reason is because we already add the green chilies into that. Also the spinach is there, so it already looked nice. So I just didn't want to add anything else on to this. But if you want, you can always add the sesame seeds because that tastes good too. So here I'm just gonna go ahead and spread the tempering on it, cut them into the pieces, and that's it. My lunch is all done. For Thursday's lunch, I'm making bindi curry, and for that, first of all, we're gonna go ahead and make the curry. So for that, I have 1 cup of plain yogurt. Into that, I'm gonna add less than half a cup of besan, that is the chickpea flour. And first of all, we're gonna go ahead and mix both these ingredients, make sure there is no lumps in it. And the reason I'm making this curry today is because I woke up late and I already had the sabji ready from last night. So that's the reason I was like, I can just go ahead and quickly prepare that. So here I'm making the curry first, and the sabji is already ready. Next, I will be adding half a teaspoon of turmeric powder, just a little bit of coriander cumin powder, as well as half a tablespoon of red chili powder. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix all these ingredients first. And then I will add 1 cup of water into this, and with the help of blender, again I will go ahead and mix all this. So on this other pan, I have about half a tablespoon of ghee, that is the clarified butter. Anytime when you make the curry, try to make it in the ghee and not the oil, because then it's gonna taste so yummy. So here I'm adding half a tablespoon of cumin powder, half a teaspoon of asafoetida, 2 small red chilies, as well as the few curry leaves. And now I'm gonna go ahead and add this mixture into this. In this particular curry, you need a thick side, but you need to make sure that you are keep stirring it. Make sure that it doesn't get stick to the bottom, and anytime you think that it's getting thick and it's not cooked properly, you can always just add water into this. I'm just gonna add the salt to taste and let this cook on medium flame for about 10-15 minutes. So as you can see, it's getting thick. The basin, the chickpea flour is not cooked at this point, so that's why I'm adding the water, just to make sure that the chickpea flour get cooked. And here my sabji is ready. Like I mentioned, I already cooked this sabji last night, so I'm just gonna go ahead and add that into this. I'm gonna go ahead and mix everything properly, leave it for about 5 minutes, so that way all the spices get mixed properly. And today actually I'm serving this with the rice, because I don't have time to make the roti. So my rice is, again, it's already it's ready to go, so I'm serving with the rice. But you can always serve with the chapati or the paratha. And I do have the sliced mango on the side. So for Friday's lunch, I made vegetable Manchurian with the rice, and this recipe I have shared before on my channel. So I'm going to link it up here as well as in the description box. But this Manchurian, instead of deep frying them, I just made them in a panyaram pan, and they came out so good. So friends, thank you so much for watching this video, and I have done other videos just like this before, but I'm sharing the breakfast recipe, lunch recipe, as well as the dinner recipe. So I'm gonna link all those videos down below in the description below. So don't forget to watch that. And again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys soon in my next video. Bye.